when I was a little boy around here, the Swain County school system. I had a meeting not too long ago when a very good friend of mine, old Brandon. You remember Brandon Sutton? We went to school with. He's part of it. They brought the superintendent of North Carolina to the farm. I guess they wanted to meet, someone who'd been to the Swain County school system and had been a product of it, because they're talking about building a new middle school down here in town. And I was telling them that about Whittier Elementary. Whittier had its own school when I was a kid, and that's where I went to the first 3 years of but they shut it down when I think it was my second grade year, and we moved just to East. I went to East when it was a brand new shiny school. Now it's basically it's an old school now, but I remember the cafetorium. I had one of those basically, and I remember my dad teaching me to sing Davy Crockett.
Oh, yeah.
The Wild Frontier. I remember I love that song so much, and I had a little guitar that I could barely hold on to.
Fess Parker, Davy Crockett.
I had that guitar. You have to say it, I'm probably going to get you in trouble, copyright and stuff. But I remember walking down that creaky old wooden floor in Whittier Elementary to the very far end, because the little kids were down by the backside. And then all the way at the end with the big old kids, the 8th graders were down there, And Mr. Livingston, remember my speech teacher was Miss Livingston. Mr. Livingston smoked a pipe for many years at the middle school. Had this pipe. I'll never forget. Even when smoking wasn't allowed, he still had a pipe outside at the middle school. Oh man, I loved it. He was really a character too, very stern man, and he's real slender. And I remember being kind of scared of him. But he knew my mom and dad real well, and he allowed me on Fridays to walk down with my guitar and get in front of his class, because I told him I learned to sing Davy Crockett, and my dad said, well, won't you let him play? He said, yeah, he can come down and play. So I got to sit in front of the 8th graders in the last 10 minutes of school that day for like a week, every day, or every Friday for like something like that. It was more than one day, and sing Davy Crockett. I knew that one real good, and I knew my grandfather's clock was too tall for the shelf. That was one I learned from, that was Grandpa Jones. He was a big bluegrass, children's music guy, but I knew those songs. And again, like you said, and once you get it in you and you think, I want to do this, it became part of my life in a very unique way, I would think, because I never went on to be an entertainer, a musician in that way, but I think I'm an entertainer in some ways.
No, you are an entertainer.
But the music was the genesis for that.